Everybody, so it's Saturday again. Welcome back to the SeeSaw. It is the 23rd of January. I'm almost up to date. Well, I am up to date with my posting, but I'm posting the videos kind of later in the week from the weekend before. So the meals of the week that ends on the Sunday and the Saturday's grocery shop get posted during the week. But I am essentially up to date now, which is a good feeling, and I'm hoping I can just about stay that way as the year progresses. Quite a strange day today. It was Tony was at work this morning, so Caleb and I were home. He got home and I said I was going to go to the shops at about 2:30, 3 o'clock time. About 2 o'clock it just started snowing. Like, we haven't had any snow really here when everybody else has, and it was great big flakes and it was settling outside, and I was like, okay, I need to get to the shops just in case this comes in really hard. I went to Tesco today, and when I got to Tesco, when I came around the end of the first aisle and I could still clearly see outside, it had got heavier. It was great big chunks of snow coming down. By the time I left the store, which was about 50 minutes later, the sun was out, the snow was all gone. So we are supposed to get snow tomorrow. We weren't supposed to get any today. But I don't know if that's all we're getting, or if that was just a taster ahead of tomorrow. But, you know, it was quite nice to see it coming down, although the fact that I hadn't yet been grocery shopping was a bit worrying. But never mind, I got there and back safely. So I did go to Tesco's, as I said. My Clubcard Plus subscription renews on the 19th, so I wanted to use my first one of those for the month. And also with the weather, I didn't want to be in and out of different stores. So went to Tesco's, got quite a lot of stuff. Now, as always, I'll show you my receipt for Tesco's. But I spent £82, that's what it cost me for the groceries, and I did get a lot of meat again. We really had run just about everything down in the freezer, so we don't have a lot of extra meat in the freezer. So I'm having to buy enough meat for every meal that we need meat for, which in this house, as you know, is just about every day. So yes, let me turn you around. Let me show you what I got. At the end, as always, I'll show you our meal plan for the week ahead. So there is the little sweep. I just have to say, something I have just realised is it is just after 4. It's about 4:15, and it is still daylight outside. I mean, it's just starting to turn. But that, you know, I know this time of the year we always comment about the days starting to draw out. That definitely is happening. I've noticed it like over this week more than I had, slowly it increasing, if you see what I mean. I know it gets lighter later every day right through to the summer now, but it just really was noticeable over this last few days that it's now almost 4:30, and actually you wouldn't need lights on if it weren't for it being a crappy day and weather-wise. So that's a positive. It's starting to get lighter evenings, which means you're not running in the dark and running out in the dark in the morning. So, as I mentioned, here's my receipt. So, when I was going around scanning, it came to £109.44. I then had savings of £27.37. So, I had a £7.39 savings, which was from their regular Clubcard pricing that's available to anybody with a Clubcard, where they're doing kind of special deals on different products every week. So, I had £7.39 worth of savings from that. I then saved £19.98. Now, I hadn't even realised I got it until I opened up my Clubcard Plus app while I was getting ready to pay, and I had a £10 off an £80 big shop, or an £80 shop in there. So it was £5 off of 50 or £10 off of 80. So I was obviously over £80, so I used that, and then I used the first of my 10% off a big shop. So I actually paid £82.07. Now, if I had not had that £10 off, it would have been £92.07, which is obviously a bit more than I paid last week at Aldi and Sainsbury's. But I still think, for me, it's all about this number that I pay at the bottom. That's the number it comes out of our budget, and that's the number that I am most concerned about. How I get the savings is it will vary from week to week depending on what Tesco has sent me, and whether I've got a 10% off voucher that week available, and that is why I mix up a little bit where I do my shopping from. But £27 of savings this week, which I was quite happy with. TV guide, as always, or as usual, a wild bird seed mix and a little coconut. So we have had a lot of little birds visiting. We've got some coconuts hanging in one of our trees, And a lot of little birds have been visiting this last few weeks. We've had blue tits, long-tailed tits, we've had a wren in the garden, we've had our robins, and we've had very crafty Mr. and Mrs. Blackbird who have figured out how to balance on a branch and peck at these, knock the suet down to the ground and go down to the ground and get it. So I brought another one just to top those up as well. Quite a lot of bread products this week. With Caleb at home more, he is eating more bread, and I just like to have a variety of things in. So the multi-seed loaf is for me, and then I've got a farmhouse white bread for him. I've got a dozen eggs. I've got some Warburton's Thins just for something different for breakfast. I've got some ciabatta rolls because I've really been liking these, and I will have some as a lunch. And then I've got some white rolls to go in the freezer, therefore something specific later in the week. Drinks wise, my Vimto remix, the raspberry, orange and passion fruit one, was back on at 99p Clubcard pricing, so grabbed another one while the pricing was good. Now Caleb has settled down with this lemon and lime still water, so I got him some small bottles for when he just wants to have a bottle, like when he's doing his schoolwork. And then I got some larger bottles of the same thing. Essentially it's the branded versus non-branded. Branded, this had a Clubcard pricing of £2 for 6 bottles, and then these are typically, I think they're about 40p or 45p a larger bottle, but I thought he could keep those in the fridge, and then when he just wants a glass he can have that. Hula hoops and quavers for crisps this week, just for something different. And then I got a carton of orange juice, a carton of apple juice. These are the the shelf-stable versions that I can just keep in the pantry. So if he does decide he wants orange or apple juice, I've got something there I can pull out, rather than having the fresh one, which, you know, it needs to be used within a certain time frame. Multigrain hoops for cereal this week. And then I also got some of the brioche, choc chip brioche, the pitch ones. They were on there was a Clubcard price on those as well. I think it was £1. It might have been 75p. Light soy sauce. They didn't have their own brand, and they didn't have the, what's the other soy sauce brand? Kikkoman. They didn't have that one. They only had dark, but they had this brand I've never heard of, which was the Thai Dragon light soy sauce. So just while they had some, I didn't need it this week, but I've grabbed it while there is some, because all through lockdown, it's the one product that seems to have been hardest to find from a kind of recipe type of product. Some sriracha chili sauce. Tesco now do their own, so I've grabbed one of those, as Tony and I both like sriracha on a lot of things. I got a spaghetti and a macaroni. I got a little pot of smoked paprika, as I was out of that. Some prawn crackers, 2 packages of microwave rice, a long grain and a chicken and sweet corn. These make a fast little lunch, or just an extra little side. If we're having something, like if we were having sweet potatoes, Caleb's not a fan, but I could make him up a micro rice quite quickly and he could have that instead. A can of French onion soup and some chopped tomatoes, some Ritz crackers, salad cream, tomato puree, pineapple slices, 3 small tins of baked beans, 2 tins of sweet corn, and that's about to full, 2 tomato passata, and then on to, and 2 of the straight to wok medium noodles. When I'm making a stir fry with noodles in, I do prefer this. I don't mind the dry noodles, I do use them quite often, but when I'm doing it all together in a pan, I like to use these straight to wok. I find they separate out easier and absorb the sauce a little bit better. And then snacky corner this week, we've got the Oreos. I don't quite know what these Lady Gaga ones are about, but it's regular Oreos, a double pack, and they were cheaper than buying 2 of the individual packs. Some ginger nuts just to top up mine and Tony's biscuit tin. Some fingers of fudge, because I quite like those and Caleb likes those. And then I got the Dreamy Caramel little bars, which is the Tesco version of Mars bars, just to have as a chocolatey treat, as all the Christmas chocolate has now officially gone. I got some of these Barney Sponge Bears. I actually quite like these as just a little treat. In fact, they're in the shape of a teddy bear, doesn't bother me. Not sure if Caleb likes them or not. I don't know that he never used to have them. I think we tried him on the vanilla ones with the chocolate filling once when he was quite small and didn't really like them. So I've never bothered, but I sometimes keep a box of these in my desk at work for a sweet snack. If I really want something sweet, they're only 97 calories. So it's a good option for me. A not a good option is wagon wheels, which I just saw these on the shelf and I Just really fancied some. I haven't had wagon wheels for years. I'm sure they're smaller, which I know everybody says, but I'm sure they are. But I love anything with marshmallow, so wagon wheels is a bit of a treat. But again, there's 6 in there. I don't think either Tony or Caleb likes them. They're not particular fans of marshmallowy stuff, so that 6 will last me 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, I'm not going to eat one every day, that's for sure. Onto the fridge, and we've got a large milk. I've got the Covent Garden soups were 90p this week, so I got the classic chicken one just to have for a lunch one day. I've got some cornettos for Caleb, and I got some of these. I've seen other people say these are really tasty. The frozen yogurt lollies, a Yumu, mixed berry, strawberry and tropical. They're 74 calories a lolly, just for something a bit different, for a sweet treat in the evening for me. Mango and passion fruit smoothie, some cheddar slices and 2 packages of grated, just because I'm feeling lazy this week. I do have a part of a block still in the fridge as well. A big pot of 0% Greek style yogurt, some Frubes for Caleb. These 9-pack were £1 this week, which is the same price as the Wildlife 6-packs. So you got 3 extra tubes for a the same price. A Spanish chorizo, some smoked salmon to have with the bagels for breakfast some mornings, some cooked ham, and then this was Caleb's request this week, some salami. I don't know that he's ever had salami. He likes pepperoni on pizza and things, but I don't know that he's ever had salami, but he decided he wanted to try some. So I don't know where he's heard about it. He's obviously watched it on a YouTube channel or something, and he's decided he wants to try that. So that's for him to try. I also got a little cauliflower cheese. I'm really the only one that really likes cauliflower cheese. Now, Tony will eat it. Caleb likes cauliflower, but he doesn't like it with cheese sauce, strangely, although he loves cheese. And so I just got a little pot of this so that Tony and I can have some and it's done. I don't have to cook up a whole cauliflower. I got some crispy batter fish fingers just to keep in the freezer. Some of these home-style crinkle cut chips, again, just to have on standby. And then the salt and pepper ridge chips, which I really like. They've just got a bit of seasoning on, and they're a bit like crinkle chips, but it's almost like somebody's taken a fork and squashed it into a chip, and they make a ridge. So I got those for just to have on standby. If we're having something with chips, I may pull those out rather than cook from scratch. Some chicken breast fillets, and then this giant bag or box of chicken thighs. These were only £3.60, which I think is a really good value. That is definitely 2 meals for us. So there's 4, 8, 9, 10, there's 12 in there. And that is definitely 2 meals for us. So Caleb would usually have 1 chicken thigh. He might have 2. If he has 2, I have 1, and you know, we work it like that, and then that leaves 3 for Tony. So there's definitely 2 meals I can break that up for. Likewise, I got a very large pack of pork steaks. They had the thicker ones. There was plenty of pork this week after not much the last couple of weeks. These are the thicker pork loin steaks. We've had the thin ones the last few times. And there is plenty in there for us for a full meal, and then some leftover pork that Tony might mix with some pasta or something to have for lunch. Some turkey mince. I wanted bassa fillets. Bassa is a really nice meaty fish. It's mild, it doesn't have a lot of flavour, and it's really good to use in like a curry or a stir fry for fish or something, because it holds its texture quite well. But they only had 1 pack of the kind of just regular bassa fillets and 1 pack of the lightly dusted. Now either would have worked for what I want to use it for, so I've got two completely different variations on bassa fillets, but they will both work, and I can combine them both in the meal that I'm making them with. Some regular potatoes, brown onions and some red onions, mixed peppers, some leeks, just fancied leeks, haven't had those in a while. Some carrots. So these carrots we tend to give to Licky. He has a big chunk of those with his meals. Broccoli, some romaine salad. I didn't need to get any herbs today because we were completely out. So Tony had stopped this morning and got some herbs for Licky and some of his lettuce that he likes too. Cherry tomatoes, cucumber, some carrot batons for Caleb likes to snack on carrots. And if these are in the fridge, they're a lot easier for him to dip in and out of than cutting one of those up. Bananas, some large sweet and crunchy stir fry mix, I was going to get some of the little packs of fresh, you know, with mini corn, mange tout, often tender stem broccoli, sometimes asparagus, just like a little flat pack, but they didn't have any, so I just went with the regular stir fry mix. Some green grapes, which were also Caleb's request this week. Easy peelers were back in, plenty of citrus fruits back on the shelves now. And so I got some easy peelers. We do still have some oranges. I do still have some apples in the fruit bowl. And then some blueberries, which I like sprinkled on cereal and Licky likes sprinkled on his dinner. So he can hear me talking about him, and he's actually squeaking in the background. He's stopped now, but he was very loud a moment ago. You might have heard that in the background. So looking at our meal plan for the week ahead, tonight we're going to have chicken. That chicken breast, I'm going to chop that up and cook it in a stir fry with some noodles. I'm going to use the big bag of stir fry veg. I think I've got a couple of packets of sachets of stir fry seasoning in the cupboard, but if not, I'll just do something myself with some sweet chili sauce and some soy sauce and something like that. Tomorrow I'm going to have French onion savoury mince. So I'm going to make a savoury mince using that can of French onion soup in it. But instead of having it like with mashed potatoes, I'm going to do it with macaroni in it. So not a chili mac. It's not going to be chili flavoured. It's not like Italian flavoured. It's going to be good and hearty savoury mince, but mixed with macaroni. Pork chops on Monday. We'll have some kind of potato with those and some kind of vegetable. Tuesday, I'm going to do a chicken and bacon pasta bake. I have another pack of chicken breasts in the freezer to use up. I've got some bacon in the freezer, so I'm going to combine those. We haven't had a pasta bake in ages, so I'm going to combine those to make a nice pasta bake. Wednesday, we'll have Spanish chicken and chorizo tray bake, and I'm going to have the collie cheese with that. So just you're going to use half of those chicken thighs, the chorizo and some potatoes and probably some peppers and onions, something like that. Combine them on a tray bake and cook those all together in the oven and have that with the collie cheese. Thursday I'm going to do Mexican rice with basa fillets, so that's just rice cooked with seasonings and some chopped peppers and onions and things like that to give it a Mexican flavour. And then I'm going to stir through the basa fillets and cook those in with it, so it's kind of a one pot. And then Friday, omelette sandwiches and chips. Don't knock it till you've tried it. Omelette sandwiches are delicious. It's not really much different to having a breakfast sandwich. But I make the omelette in a pan in the oven. So I mix the eggs with some peppers and onions and seasoning. Let it cook in the oven to make like a large flat omelette. And then I lay some ham and some cheese slices over the top, pop it back in the oven to melt the cheese, and then cut it into sort of squares and put it into the bread rolls. And it is really delicious. You can put whatever you want in the omelette, you can put whatever you want on top of it, and it's a good way to make omelettes in bulk without having to stand and cook a separate omelette for every person. And we'll have those in the bread rolls with maybe some of those frozen chips, or I might make some chips of my own. So that is our plan for the week ahead. Thank you for joining us for this grocery haul, and we look forward to seeing you back here on the SeeSaw soon.